we announce 4 exciting funding opportunities for our Eastern Kentucky communities. I'm Des Keene, Commissioner of the Department of Local Government. Our agency works with local governments across the Commonwealth by providing guidance, training, and grant opportunities. Our agency encourages all cities and counties to contact us about grant opportunities available to invest in the future of Kentucky and improve the lives of all Kentuckians. Today, we are here to announce grant funding for our Eastern Kentucky region from the Appalachian Regional Commission. The ARC, as we know it, is a federal and state economic development program designed to assist our Appalachian communities by investing in projects that create jobs, develop a ready workforce, and provide health care and education services. ARC is an invaluable state partner that has provided over $40 million to Eastern Kentucky in the fiscal year of 2019. Today, it is an honor to share this podium with a Kentuckian who continues to work tirelessly and to protect us from COVID-19 and always leads with integrity and transparency. It is my great honor to introduce your governor, Andy Beshear. Thank you.
All right. Welcome, and thanks for joining us here virtually today. It is so great to be out of quarantine and back in the rotunda to celebrate some really good news for Eastern Kentucky. As many of you all know, the last couple weeks, I was working out of the attic. We were very productive, but we are all happy that our entire family is healthy and has been released from that quarantine. I can't express how much we appreciate the kind messages, the prayers, and the thoughts that were sent our way. And I hope everyone will continue to do the right thing when they get that call from the contact tracer, when they have unknowingly been exposed and are willing to answer that call and do what it takes to prevent the further spread of this virus. And I look forward to the day when this pandemic is over and we can all get together to celebrate in your communities this really great work that's occurring right now, and this investment in our future, this investment in our infrastructure, and this investment in jobs. Before COVID-19 took hold, we traveled the state, announcing grant funding for projects across the Commonwealth that will create jobs, improve important infrastructure, and bring real opportunities to all corners of Kentucky. And that travel was special. You could see the hope in people's eyes, and you could see the promise when we talked about the future and the opportunities we were creating. We announced a new fire station in Murray. We awarded a grant for renovations to the Perry Building in Hazard, which will create jobs and bring new industry. We visited the Pikeville Medical Center to celebrate Project Heart, which will create a training program for nurses. We awarded projects for park improvements in Northern Kentucky, Sandy Hook, and Louisa, just to name a few. All the grants and all the projects we've announced since December align with our values. And it was pretty special to be there and to do it in person. But COVID changes everything. But I think mainly what it does is it tests us. It tests us in so many ways, and in this way, it's about why we invest these dollars. We don't do it for even that incredible moment where the community comes together. We don't do it for the smiles on the face or the ribbons we get to cut. We do it because it's the right thing. It's going to improve the lives of Kentuckians, and it's going to give that next generation and the one after a better, brighter future. So COVID makes us prove that we do the right thing, even when you can't show up to get the credit. And I think that aligns with what we talked about in this administration from the beginning, the where we want to go. That's wages, health care, education, retirement, and example. Key areas critical to creating a brighter, better Kentucky, and that we remain so focused on even through a pandemic. And the same can be said for the projects that we're announcing today. Today's announcements are a further commitment of my administration's willingness and intent to bring opportunity to every part of Kentucky. It's because Team Kentucky isn't just a slogan, it's who we are. Every Kentuckian is a part of our team, and every Kentuckian counts. And when part of our state is struggling, we should all feel that struggle, and we should be committed to helping that community, that area, to make sure that we can all thrive, because no one should ever be told that the best way to get ahead, the best way to get a good job, the best way to get the health care that you need is to move from somewhere you love and maybe somewhere you grew up. I'm committed to building a future where everybody, if they so choose, can pursue that great job in the community they were raised in or that community that they choose. So today, we're announcing more than $3.6 million in Appalachian Regional Commission grants for 7 projects and nearly $3.7 million in additional road funding projects in eastern Kentucky. These projects, $7.3 million worth of updated infrastructure and resurfaced roads. They'll bolster education, spur economic development, improve health care, and build a better Kentucky. I want to thank everyone who made these projects possible, including ARC co-chairman Tim Thomas and everyone at the Appalachian Regional Commission. They have truly, and I believe historically, invested in Kentucky during this period of time, and with their help, we aren't going to limp out of COVID, we are going to sprint into our future. I want to thank Rockcastle Regional Hospital Director of Development, John Lambert, Morehead State University President, Dr. Jay Morgan, Challenger Learning Center Director, Tom Cravens, Teach for America Appalachian Director, Stephanie Devine, Boonville Mayor Nelson Bobrovsky, Southeast Kentucky Economic Development Corporation Director, Brett Traver, Center for Rural Development and President and CEO, Lonnie Lawson, and everyone at the Eastern Kentucky Area Development Districts who helped write these grants. One of the sad parts about having to do things this way virtually is that the grant writers typically don't get to be here. But I think they always feel like the unsung heroes. Let's make sure we sing their praises, because these dollars aren't given, they are earned, and in large part that's due to a finely crafted grant proposal. And I want to thank all our local officials for everything that you've done to make these projects possible, for everything you're doing to build a better community, and for your leadership during this pandemic, which we need to be steady and continuous as we save the lives of those around us. So today, we're also announcing $4 million in funding from the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to a dozen communities for improvement of local streets and roads. One way we make a better Kentucky is empowering our local governments to improve and maintain the local traffic routes their citizens use every day, and this helps promote jobs and good-paying jobs in this time of pandemic. Smoother pavement, repaired road beds, improved drainage. Simple things by themselves, but highly important to the people who use them every day. The funding, $3,963,809, will reimburse 10 counties and 3 cities for work such as pavement repair, resurfacing, and drainage ditching on roadways that were rated in poor condition. The projects were submitted for funding consideration from local officials. In each case, KYTC district engineers assessed road conditions to determine the most critical needs based on factors such as safety, economic impact, and traffic volume. And now the fun part. We get to talk about some of these critical investments and how they're going to move our communities forward. Let's start with Mount Vernon. Rockcastle Regional Hospital and Respiratory Care Center, Inc. will use $360,000 in ARC funding for the Tech Ready Apprentices for Careers in Kentucky apprenticeship program. That is a program developed by the Kentucky Department of Education's Office of Career and Technical Education and the Kentucky Labor Cabinet. The program will train 36 apprentices, 12 per year, over a 3-year period. Participants include high school students who are interested in becoming state-registered nurse aides, and I can't tell you how important that is right now. These studies will work in the hospital's ventilator care unit and receive training about caring for ventilator-dependent patients. I want to introduce Rockcastle Regional Hospital Director of Development, John Lambert, for remarks. And let me tell, as he comes up, those that work in our healthcare system, those that work in our hospitals, regional hospitals, local hospitals, all the way from that hardworking nurse in the ICU to those working in administration have been absolutely amazing partners in getting through the worst pandemic of our lifetime and in the last 100 years. So John, thank you for all of your work and the work of your coworkers.
Thank you, Governor Beshear. My name is John Lambert. I'm the Development Director at Rockcastle Regional. We are perhaps most well known for our ventilator care program. The participants in this program will later go on to become ventilator experts. We're lucky to have the support of the ARC and the Department of Local Government for our nursing mentorship program. We call it an apprenticeship program, that's the traditional name, but really it's about mentorship. Everybody here is in two camps. You either know the impact the positive impact that having a mentor can have on your life and career, or you know how difficult it is if you don't have someone to role model those things. Mentors believe in us whenever we need support, and they sort of challenge us and chide us whenever we don't live up to our potential. Mentors can sort of bridge the gap between the hard technical skills that's required of a nurse and sort of the soft skills of working with sick people, sick families, the dynamics of having a high-stress position. So we are very appreciative for the ARC's support, the ARC's investment, the support of the Department of Local Government and the Governor's Office, and thank you so much.
I hope as people at home can see the ability to use these dollars to invest where it's most needed in a ventilator apprenticeship program at a time of COVID. That's the right way to be spending these dollars to help save lives. All right, next is Morehead State University, a place where Kentucky's future right now is coming together in so many different ways. Right now, we are trying to create the jobs of the future, to create that new economy that is emerging and not simply chase jobs of the past 30 years. Right now, Morehead State may be where aerospace and agri-tech are coming together, and we've had a pretty big last week in Morehead. So Morehead State University will use $622,902 in ARC funding to improve research capabilities and academic instruction in space systems engineering and astrophysics. MSU will use the funding to install a 12-meter satellite tracing antenna for research, student training, and to support NASA missions. It will also make them one of only 4 DSN stations on worldwide as part of NASA's Deep Space Network. They will also create the Star Theater, which is an important asset for science education, outreach, and training at Morehead State University's Space Science Center. Upon completion, this project will ensure that Morehead State University can attract and train students at all levels for the STEM careers and will cement its legacy of graduating qualified engineers and physicists who are workforce ready. Morehead State University is trying and helping us to create the exciting career paths in the future, where people don't just want to stay in Kentucky, people want to come to Kentucky, because we are on that cutting edge where science and the future come together. Special jobs, exciting jobs. Thank you for helping us to create and maintain them.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you to all of you for letting Morehead State University be a part of today's announcement. I mentioned a broad thank you to the Governor because he did point out that our community, Rowan County, Morehead, and Morehead State University are on the move and doing a lot of good things. I also want to thank Commissioner with the Department of Local Government, Tim Thomas with the ARC, and all of our other supporters of our space science program. Our Morehead State University Space Science program is very strong, one of the strongest not only in our country, but in the world, and it's a blue chip program not only for our university, but for all universities in Kentucky. As we drive economic development in eastern Kentucky, this $622,000 investment will go to purchase a 12-meter satellite dish or an antenna that will go up on top of the mountain behind our campus and will complement the already existing 21-meter antenna that is there. The 21-meter antenna will be transitioning to the Deep Space node, which is an affiliate node, and will become very secure and classified. And this one will take its place and allow us to generate more contracts, more training, and more research for our area. These ARC funds will bring this particular new dish into operational status. And it will also, as the governor mentioned, complement our already existing Star Theater and bring it to the point to where it can be used more for training. I would like to compliment Governor Amanda Holbrook, who is here with us from our Space Science Center. Sometimes our grant writers don't always get the accolade that they need, but Amanda was a driving force behind this, and we appreciate all she has done. Again, thank you, Governor, for this opportunity, ARC, Department of Local Government, and others. We will put this investment to good use in Eastern Kentucky, and Morehead State University is on the Kentucky team. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you. So that was Dr. Jay Morgan. I don't think I introduced him before he started. He is doing a heck of a job at Morehead State University, where just last week in their community, company that they're working with, App Harvest, just cut the ribbon. I was in quarantine, but I was there in spirit on what is one of the 10 largest buildings in the world, largest greenhouse in North America, most sophisticated LED lighting system in the world. Great things are happening, and they're happening in Eastern Kentucky. So also in Rowan County, we're announcing funding for the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet in the amount of $216,600 for resurfacing 4 miles of 2 county roads, Blue Bank Road and East Clack Mountain Road. The pavement of both the roads were in very poor condition. This is going to greatly improve both roads for the people that have to use them, and we're creating a lot more jobs in that area, and we know that means more traffic. So we're excited that traffic can flow a little bit smoother. All right, next up is Hazard. And if there is one Eastern Kentucky city and community that knows how to leverage ARC funds, Hazard is on the move. The Challenger Learning Center of Kentucky, located in Hazard, will use $800,000 in ARC funding for the Moon, Mars, and Beyond Gateway to Tomorrow project, which will generate excitement about STEM careers and NASA's return to the Moon by 2024 missions. The project includes an interactive science center, an outreach program in schools who cannot travel to the center, virtual programs, which are very important right now, and the establishment of a Moon, Mars, and Beyond facilitation team. Upon completion, the project will create 2 jobs, but it's going to educate 1,875 students. I'd now like to introduce the Challenger Learning Center Director, Tom Cravens, for remarks. Tom?
On behalf of the staff and board of directors of the Challenger Learning Center of Kentucky, I would like to thank Governor Beshear, Commissioner Keene, and the Appalachian Regional Commission for this investment in the young people of Eastern Kentucky. As the governor mentioned, these grant funds will be used for the Moon, Mars, and Beyond program, which will follow the Artemis missions to return to the Moon by 2024, and then eventually on to Mars. Through this program, students will be also exploring careers in aerospace and aviation, especially those careers here in Kentucky in the aerospace industry. This is not ARC's first investment in the Challenger Learning Center. ARC was actually the center's very first investor back in 1998 under former Governor Paul Patton's administration. The Challenger Center has been in continuous operation since 1999 and has served well over 150,000 Appalachian Kentucky students during that time. And just before I came up here a few minutes ago, talking to John from Rockcastle County, I found out John was one of our alumni that had been to the Challenger Center when he was in middle school. This latest grant award will kick us off on our 3rd decade of service to students and teachers in the STEM fields in Eastern Kentucky. The Challenger Center in Hazard is one of over 40 Challenger Learning Centers located worldwide. There's 3 in outside of the United States, and it is an ongoing continuation of the NASA Teacher in Space mission from 1986 that ended tragically, but Krista McAuliffe, the teacher there, was supposed to teach lessons from space. Our center in Hazard was the first one in a rural community and the first one in Kentucky. There are others now in Louisville and in Paducah. The goal is always to inspire and motivate students. We want to create that pipeline to Morehead State that we just heard from a few seconds ago. And a few people would argue that space exploration isn't an inspiring and motivating tool to use to get kids excited about STEM. So we've all heard about the Apollo missions from the 60s and the early 70s that motivated a whole generation of scientists and engineers. And we and Governor Beshear's administration think that this will do the same for our students in Eastern Kentucky. So once again, I'd like to thank Governor Beshear, Commissioner Keene, and the ARC for this opportunity, and I would invite everyone to visit a Challenger Learning Center that's the closest to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom. And I will be there as soon as we're through COVID. I want to thank Tom and everybody out there that are creating this incredible STEM or STEAM workforce of the future. I was on a Zoom call, because we do a lot of Zoom calls now, with a high school. I did a lot of those while we were in quarantine. And I said to them, it's kind of like that famous line, if you build it, they will come. And none of them knew what I was talking about. But just like that was Field of Dreams, it is true on the economic side that if we can build the best workforce in America, if we can graduate more individuals with especially 4-year college degrees in engineering and in science and math, the jobs will come. They will come to us. And we have to continue to make the investments that it takes in K through 12 and in higher education, in our technical and career services, to make sure that we build that workforce. And I know the Challenger Centers are doing a lot in stimulating our young people and ensuring that they aim high and that they understand the potential is out there. Also in Hazard, Teach for America Appalachia, located in Hazard, will use $500,000 to recruit, train, and retain K-12 teachers for underserved areas in Eastern Kentucky by offering new training opportunities and incentives. The project will help recruit 290 teachers and plans to retain at least 250 past their initial 2-year contract. The program will serve 15 school districts within 12 Appalachian counties, and if we have learned anything through COVID-19, it's that we as parents have underappreciated teachers, because we now know how hard it is to try to help our kids in the day-to-day learning experience. We love our educators. Here we've got Teach for America Appalachian Executive Director Stephanie Devine with a video.
Over the past 9 years, we've seen what's possible when you recruit world-class teacher leaders to fill over 150 vacancies across Appalachian Eastern Kentucky. At Teach for America Appalachia, we have seen thousands of students' lives changed when teachers work in partnership with others at their school to set high expectations, empower students to believe in themselves, and achieve their goals. Because of the Appalachian Regional Commission and this administration's profound belief in our students and communities, we are so grateful to be the recipients of this Appalachian Regional Commission grant. The grant will allow us to launch 3 bold new initiatives that will change the face of education in Appalachian Eastern Kentucky. First, we're going to radically increase the number of Kentucky teachers that we bring home to teach in communities where they're from. By recruiting at Kentucky's amazing colleges and universities, we're going to bring more students back home to inspire their students, as we know that our Kentucky college graduates are proof points of possibility and role models for their students. Second, we're going to provide free professional development and coaching to any partner school in Eastern Kentucky as they request it, spreading best practices across the mountains and increasing teacher retention through providing intensive support. And third, we're launching an innovative fellowship, the Mountain Teacher Fellowship, that's going to greatly increase the amount of teacher retention year over year by incentivizing teachers to remain in the classroom past their core commitment through Teach for America. We also know that the Mountain Teacher Fellowship is going to really increase the number of students who have great teachers year over year and decrease recurring vacancies in some of our highest need districts. Because of the Appalachian Regional Commission and because of this incredible administration's office, we know that literally over 5,000 students' lives will be changed over the next 3 years as a result of this gift. We couldn't be more grateful for your partnership and for your shared belief that our students are limitless in their potential. I hope that you enjoy hearing from a few other people who are equally passionate about the growth of our program. Thank you.
I love my TFA teachers because they work so hard to make sure we get the best education possible. They actually care about their students and they care about whether or not we're learning. I've never seen a TFA teacher turn down a student if they needed help, and I've had several offer after-school tutoring. Every second spent in a TFA teacher's classroom is a second spent learning in a fun and interactive way. I owe so much thanks to my TFA teachers and to those who make the TFA program possible, because without them, then I would not be the student that I am today.
Why we do what we do. Next, Boonville will use $1 million in ARC funds to replace 1,160 water meters throughout their city. These upgrades will allow the city to read the meters remotely and will provide more accurate readings of water consumption and will prevent water revenue loss. We've learned that if we want to provide everybody clean drinking water, if we want the water and sewer infrastructure, it's not just the pipes in the ground. The meters are also critically important to ensuring that we're not only providing people good service, that we know when an issue has arisen, but we also know how to address challenges as they arise. This is yet another water project that this administration is engaged in, be it through ARC, AML, or the Energy and Environment Cabinet. There are more coming. This is an area we're committed to making a major difference. So now we got a video of Boonville Mayor Nelson Bobrovsky.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Nelson Bobrovsky, Mayor of the City of Boonville in Alva County, Kentucky. I'd like to thank the Department of Local Government, Commissioner Keene, Governor Andy Beshear, Senator Mitch McConnell, and Robert Stivers, and Custer Howard for helping us get this with the Appalachian Regional Commission. And it's very important to the City of Boonville and Alva County, to the water customers we all have here, and to improve the system. The ways we will be using this $1 million grant is to install and retrofit 1,160 water meters throughout the county and the city, and make sure that the citizens have the latest state-of-the-art, that way they can monitor the water usage so much more and save the consumers. It also help the city as their radio read meters, and those radio read meters, you drive by and within 300 feet it picks up the usage for up to 90 days. And you read them once a month, and that data for the full 30 days is provided to the system and the computers and everything. And that way it can be accessed for problems or leaks and monitoring for those purposes. This will also help increase the revenue, as our old meters, some of them are about 50 years old. The majority is over 20 years old. And they do not record accurately, and they're all manual read. With manual read, we have to have one of our workers go to every meter in the county and open it up and read it, and that makes it extremely hard to get the accuracy down as time we transcribe it on paper to the computers and the billing software. But anyway, this is a huge improvement as we work to modernize the whole water and sewer system, the Boonville-Owsley water system and sewage system here. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for helping us set these goals and giving us funds to make it better here for the citizens of Alva County. Thank you.
Also, for the City of Boonville, the Transportation Cabinet is providing $29,270 for new pavement on 2 streets, Mulberry and Jockey Streets. Next is Somerset. The Southeast Kentucky Economic Development Corporation, located in Somerset, will use $108,000 in ARC funding for the Eastern Kentucky Economic Development Branding Initiative. The program will fund the development of new branding, stock photo production, and websites for Rockcastle, Rowan, Whitley, and Boyd counties. Upon completion, this program will help create 50 jobs and leverage $10 million in new private investment. But I think it's also an example of a region coming together, knowing that we are better off whether someone locates in our county or the county next door to us. It still creates jobs for the whole region. And one of the amazing things to see, especially in the last 8 or so years, 10 years in Eastern Kentucky, is how people have banded together and realized that a rising tide floats all of those boats and that we get to that better future by working together. So here is SKED Director Brett Traver.
Hello, I'm Brett Traver, Executive Director of the Southeast Kentucky Economic Development Corporation, or SKED. I would like to thank Governor Andy Beshear and DLG Commissioner Dennis Keene for supporting SKED's application for $108,000 in Appalachian Regional Commission funds for our Economic Development Branding Initiative. These funds will enable us to work to rebrand the economic development efforts of 4 communities throughout our region in Corbin, Ashland, Rockcastle, and Rowan counties. Through this project, we're going to work to reposition these communities' images to help them attract new business and industry to the region. SKED has had a long-standing relationship with DLG, ARC, and these communities. Again, thank you, Governor Beshear, ARC Co-Chair Tim Thomas, and all of our partners in these communities. SKED appreciates their partnerships to grow and expand the economies of Southern and Eastern Kentucky.
Also in Somerset, the Center for Rural Development will use $300,000 in ARC funding for the Coal Impacted Skills Training Program, which will provide training and opportunity to displaced, unemployed, and underemployed workers in 35 counties impacted by the decline of the coal industry and COVID-19. Training opportunities will include essential work skills, help desk customer service, and specialized workforce training in high-growth industries like allied health, commercial trucking, and additive manufacturing. The program is expected to train 260 workers and provide a more ready workforce in growing industries. It's also going to provide a better life to those 260 families, make sure we're putting food on the table for our Kentuckians. Now I'll introduce a video for the Center for Rural Development President and CEO, Lonnie Lawson.
Hello, my name is Lonnie Lawson, and I am the President and CEO of the Center for Rural Development. On behalf of our board and staff, we would like to thank the Appalachian Regional Commission and Commissioner Keene and the Kentucky Department for Local Government for the Coal Impacted Skills Training Award that the Center just received. This award will allow us to increase education, knowledge, skills, and health of our residents, enabling them to work and succeed in Appalachia through our coal impacted skills training.
Also in Pulaski County, the Transportation Cabinet is providing a total of $418,000 to the Pulaski Fiscal Court in the City of Burnside for resurfacing 5 miles of streets and roads. Of that total, $220,000 goes to the Fiscal Court for work performed on Singleton Road. The remaining $198,000 is for 5 streets in the City of Burnside: Cliffside Drive, Central Avenue, Summit Avenue, West Antioch Avenue, and Grandview Avenue. Before I turn it over to my senior advisor for a few remarks, I also want to note several other local governments in Eastern Kentucky in the ARC region that are receiving Transportation Cabinet funding for repairing and improving local streets and roads. Here's a quick rundown. Anderson County, $321,501 for 4.5 miles of new pavement on 9 separate county roads. Bath County, $144,100 for patch repairs on 3 county routes, and another $33,300 for resurfacing of 2 streets in the city of Owensville. In Garrett County, $177,000 for 5 resurfacing projects on various county roads. Madison County, $55,473 for resurfacing a section of Carver's Ferry Road. Menifee County, resurfacing of nearly 10 miles of roadway on 4 county roads. I think we're still waiting for a final amount on that. Nicholas County, $379,332 for 4 resurfacing projects. Russell County, $539,500 for 9 resurfacing projects on various county roads. And Scott County, $510,000 for 2 resurfacing projects. Altogether, these projects being announced today add up to about 45 miles of improved roadway and a lot of jobs out there for Kentucky families. A complete list with specific details will be published online. We're excited about these announcements today. We believe in building a better Kentucky, and making investments, especially during a time of a pandemic, is a way we do just that. These announcements today have been about critical infrastructure. We can't build a better future and a better Kentucky without critical infrastructure. And they have been in investments in our future, in programs related to aerospace and space, ways that we retrain workers for a better and a brighter future. Today's an exciting day because we're not just spending grant money, we're spending it in ways that are going to help Kentuckians for years to come. And we can't talk about moving Eastern Kentucky forward without introducing the guy that has been pushing and pushing and pushing every year, and regardless of what position he's been in, for a better, brighter future for Eastern Kentucky. So let me introduce you to Eastern Kentucky's favorite son and a heck of a basketball player when he was at Morehead State University, Rocky Atkins.
Well, Governor, first of all, thank you for allowing me to say a few words, and to thank you for keeping your commitment to rural Kentucky, but especially today, Eastern Kentucky. The announcements that were made today, I think we all understand, are really the core fundamentals, the core foundation of what it takes to build that better Kentucky, especially in regions of Kentucky that have been harmed the most by the downturn of the coal economy. Is a great example. Thousands of jobs lost over the last 10 to 12 years, directly and indirectly. And to make announcements today in infrastructure of water and sewer and roads and bridges, just a critical fundamental. To talk about quality health care and the training of our health care professionals, especially in a pandemic like we are today, but for the future of recruiting industry. And then to be able to talk about the future economy, the new economies, and the education of our youth, and those who are coming to the Challenger Center, or those who are going to the Space Science Center, and to understand that what happened in Morehead, Round County last week, the announcement of App Harvest into the types of jobs our people never thought would ever be there, and to know that 300 people will be able to go to work in that field. You know, Kentucky's got a good story to tell, and especially rural Kentucky and Eastern Kentucky. Everybody says, that's where Rocky's from. Well, that's where I'm from. That's where I live. That's my home. And to be able to work with you, Governor, and for you to get the big picture of what we're trying to do all across Kentucky, but how we rebuild economies of rural Kentucky and especially Eastern Kentucky. To know that the aerospace industry is the #1 export industry in the Commonwealth of Kentucky. A lot of people don't know that. A $14.5 billion export industry, ranking second only to Washington State, is pretty special. To know that we have a chance to be the aerospace capital of the world and the ag tech capital of the world excites me. To know we have a chance to do all of that in our region of Eastern Kentucky. To know that we can keep our teachers in Eastern Kentucky, where they want to stay and where they want to teach, and to have this announcement today to be able to do that. And this money to brand Eastern Kentucky's economic future is one that I think is exciting, because it gives us a chance to brand and tell that story, Governor, that you and I get a chance to tell when we're out on the road trying to tell that story. I'm excited about our future because the governor gets it, and he has that vision of the investments that have to be made to build that better Kentucky, to build that better Eastern Kentucky, that better rural Kentucky. And these investments that are being made today are the very core of that foundation to make that happen. Governor, it's time to put our people back to work. It's time to put our coal miners, our laid-off railroad workers, our steel workers, those people that have worked on those assembly lines. It's time to stop that depopulation from my region of Kentucky and allow people to live at home again, raise their families, put food on the table and a roof over their head. I know that's your vision, and I know that's what we will achieve. Thank you for your commitment. It is appreciated. And thanks to everyone that was here today. And Governor, all I would say is stay tuned. There's more to come.
Thank you, Rocky, and congratulations to everybody involved in these projects and to the communities that are going to benefit from them. I know times are tough, and they're probably going to get tougher before they get easier. But the night is always darkest before the dawn, and I believe that there is a dawn coming that will usher in a new world, one where we have more potential and possibilities if we can grasp onto the future. The investments that we make now, the plans that we make now, are going to determine the next 30 or 40 years here in Kentucky. Coming out of COVID, we're going to have a chance to be something more. We're going to have more potential than I think we've ever had before. Today, we're doing the hard work to make sure we grasp that potential and build that better Kentucky. Thank y'all. And this is a